keep telling y'all, street got no God. God do not look after street. Boosie really thought he wasn't going to jail for that pistol. I knew he was going. I just was waiting.
A lot of things this case has stopped me from doing, traveling all across the world, making. So I just want to get it over with, and, you know, accept my guilty plea. I'm ready to get over it.
Anything you want to say to your fans?
Just say a prayer for me. I just need prayer. I don't need nothing else.
Well, Charleston White was celebrating you taking the plea deal. I think he even said he hopes you die in jail and stuff like that.
Yeah, I heard.
The biggest thing right now was that you actually accepted a plea deal for your federal gun case.
Yeah.
Now, how long have you been fighting this thing from the very, very beginning?
I've been fighting for probably 3 years now, probably.
3 years.
Y'all, Boosie Badazz might be staring down a decade behind bars on his federal gun charge. And guess who wasted no time clowning him? None other than Charleston White. The minute Boosie's case hit the blogs, Charleston hopped on live acting like it was Christmas morning. He laughed, cracked jokes, and bragged that he'd been waiting for this moment, swearing he always knew Boosie would end up locked up. Then he pushed it even further, saying he wouldn't care if Boosie never made it back home. Now remember, earlier this month, Boosie admitted he took a plea deal. He said he was exhausted from fighting and figured this was the smartest move, even though the case had already been thrown out once before. But in 2024, prosecutors doubled back stronger and hit him again this time, making sure the stakes were sky high. Now he could be facing 10 years or more. So while Boosie is online posting emotional words about trusting God and feeling worn down by the system, Charleston White is out here celebrating like it's his own birthday. And if you didn't already know, Boosie's been tangled up in legal drama for years. But this time, this gun case feels like the one that finally cornered him. Caught with a firearm as a convicted felon, one of the hardest charges to walk away from.
The feds picked it up.
Now, it was a state case. The feds came, picked it up. They had a ruling in the Supreme Court that went in my favor. And the case got dropped by the judge. The case got dropped.
At first, things actually looked hopeful. Back in 2023, the case was dismissed, and fans thought Boosie was finally free to lock in on music and family. But the feds weren't letting go that easy. In 2024, they came right back with a re-indictment on the exact same charge, basically saying, "Nice try, but we're still coming for you." That's when Boosie finally folded and took the plea. He even went on X, telling fans, "I thought this case was behind me, and I was ready to move on with life. But God don't make mistakes, and I'm tired of fighting." For Boosie, this wasn't just another legal battle, it was like his past finally caught up. When the news hit, fans rushed to show him love, but you could tell the fight had drained him. This wasn't the same Boosie who used to roast critics or clap back at every troll. This was a man who sounded worn out. His post carried that mix of faith and surrender, like somebody trying to make peace with the inevitable.
I wasn't gonna go to trial with it from the dump, actually, but I feel like this the right move for me. You know, I trust in God, Black.
Boosie's been dodging bullets, literal and legal, since his Baton Rouge days. Cases, beefs, even health scares. But this time feels different. 10 years isn't a slap on the wrist. You could feel the weight in every word he typed. While fans were rallying behind Boosie, Charleston White was doing the exact opposite, grinning live on camera, bragging that he called it. He said he never believed Boosie would beat this case. And now that the sentence is locked in, he's rubbing it in.
Boosie going to jail! Oh, God! Oh, God is good. I keep telling y'all, street got no God. God do not look after street. Boosie really thought he wasn't going to jail for that pistol. I knew he was going. He going to jail. All that newborn baby. Boosie won't get to see that newborn baby till that baby be walking and talking. Boosie going to jail!
Charleston even went as far as saying he hopes Boosie dies in prison, which is wild, even for him. But trolling is his brand. The worst part? Boosie hadn't even processed his sentence before Charleston turned it into a live comedy skit. And this isn't random trolling. Charleston's obsession with Boosie runs deep. Every time Boosie hits a legal wall, Charleston pops up. That's why fans keep asking, why does Charleston White hate Boosie so much? The answer goes back to 2022, when Kanye West set the culture on fire with that White Lives Matter shirt. Boosie called it disrespectful. Charleston? He attacked Boosie for even speaking, and that's when it all went left. He didn't just come at Boosie, he dragged his son Tootie Raw, and even T.I.'s son King Harris, calling them ugly, weak, and jail-bound.
He brought you up because you were attacking Kanye because of the...
Nah, this Kanye West shit just happened. Nigga been coming at me. He been coming at me. It's just, you know, I can't respond to those people, bro. Like, That's a danger to what I got going on. You can't take no risk of losing this behind, you know.
That's when people realized Charleston wasn't just trolling, he was willing to go as low as possible, even targeting kids just to wound their parents. The wild part, Boosie didn't explode the way fans expected. Instead, he kept it calm during an interview with Tony the Closer. He admitted he couldn't say too much without risking more legal heatus, especially once kids got dragged into it. So instead of going off, Boosie kept his response measured. Here's that clip of Boosie explaining why he held back.
I ain't really got no opinion on him because, you know, my opinion can send me to prison. So I ain't really, you know, I ain't really got no opinion on him, you know, once you go to threaten people's kids, talking about you gotta lie. So, you know, I ain't the one gonna do all that. I ain't gonna do all that, you know what I'm saying? It's just, hey, you know, certain people you can't really express opinions on, and he one of those. You can't express how you feel because you might end up in prison. And I ain't getting tricked off the streets.
That one line told you everything. Boosie wasn't scared of Charleston, he just knew Charleston was the type to bait him into saying something that could get him locked up. So instead of snapping, Boosie kept it cool, at least on the outside, but the tension was already boiling. By early 2023, things exploded. Charleston was already clowning T.I. over his paperwork party when Boosie's son Tootie jumped in, calling Charleston old messy and telling him to go die. Charleston, being Charleston, took it to another level. He went live saying, "I hope your daddy dies from diabetes. I hope China don't send the insulin over 1 month." Who even says that? He basically wished death on Boosie just to get at his kid. Then, not long after, Tootie actually got arrested on gun charges and Charleston popped out immediately, claiming credit. He bragged about tipping off the Department of Public Safety, even sending pictures to the cops. Then he accused Boosie of using kids as killers, calling him a 6-time convicted murderer. That's when people realized this wasn't just internet trolling anymore. Charleston's words were bleeding into real-life damage. And just 3 months later, Boosie himself got arrested again in San Diego after a court hearing. Charleston, he went live instantly, laughing, saying it was all God's plan, even comparing Boosie to Daniel in the lion's den, like prison was some divine test.
Them white folk, Boosie, you done got too much. You done let these niggas play you too mother. This internet dumb and it. Say what little Tootie gonna do now? What little to say? Listen, Vlad TV. Vlad post everybody going to jail but Boosie. Somebody tag Vlad TV.
Charleston twisted Boosie's arrest into a full-blown sermon, making it sound like Boosie's pain was some kind of punishment from God. Fans couldn't even tell if he was serious or trolling. Either way, it was disrespectful. Months later, Boosie finally broke his silence on Vlad TV. He admitted he didn't even want Vlad giving Charleston a platform after all the things he said about Tootie. And once again, he made it clear he wasn't scared of Charleston. He was just trying to stay free. His own words?
I mean, I can't respond to that because once I see a man go up there and say he gonna put your in prison, even if you threaten him or say something about him and he's got facts to where he's put people in prison, I can't take a chance of getting involved with that.
Well, listen, I don't want anything to happen.
He's like, I'm gonna call. I seen him on some shit. He gonna call somebody.
Oh yeah, no. He calls people. He gets people arrested for threats and stuff like that. But I'm not threatening.
Even though Boosie kept it cool, you could tell Charleston was living rent-free in his head. By early 2024, the beef had bled all the way into internet culture. Aden Ross was supposed to have Boosie on his stream, but Boosie backed out. He didn't want to deal with Charleston drama. Then Aden flipped the story, claiming he turned Boosie down out of loyalty to Charleston White. That lie caught fire online until DJ Vlad stepped in, dragging Aden for siding with a guy who literally praised Hitler and denied the Holocaust. The whole mess showed just how far Charleston's shadow stretched. 7 young streamers were using his name as clout currency. And still, Charleston wouldn't let up. Later that March, he jumped online again, claiming Boosie had warned promoters not to book him. He spun it into another rant, bragging that he'd already contacted the feds and was ready to get Boosie locked up over what he called threats. To make it sting more, he even dragged Boosie's health into the rant. Here's Charleston, swearing up and down he'd get Boosie jammed up through the FBI.
I'm gonna put your in jail, waiting for the FBI to send me the right kind of number, cause I'm finna make a report on your mother and people. And you make the man call your name specifically. The promoter specifically said your mother name, Lil Boosie. He implemented you and implicated you.
finna go to jail. Back to jail. You gonna be on your knees, but them knees gonna be bleeding again.
Once again, Charleston had no proof, but he didn't need any. He just said it loud enough, and it stuck. Boosie even admitted he'd been getting calls from guys already locked up, asking him when he was gonna join them. Imagine that already, facing a federal sentence, and now dudes inside are clowning you before you even touch the yard. That's pure insult to injury, and Charleston knows exactly what he's doing.
Yeah, I trust in God, man. This crazy.
Here's another angle. People are whispering about Boosie never even wanted to risk a trial. He went straight for the plea, and honestly, who can blame him? Imagine if, by some crazy twist, Charleston White had managed to show up in that courtroom. Y'all already know he would have turned the whole thing into a circus, pointing fingers, testifying, and running straight to the blogs the second he stepped outside. And it's not far-fetched either. Charleston has a history of telling, and he's never been shy about it. Back when he was just 14, he was caught up in a robbery with other teens. During it, one of them, Antoine Doolittle, shot and killed a man named Michael Levy. When it came time for trial, Charleston testified against him. In street culture, that's the ultimate betrayal. Even though he was just a kid, folks still drag him for snitching on his own crew. But Charleston, he doesn't run from it. He's defended himself for years, saying, "I was young, I told the truth." That's not snitching, that's survival. In his own words, "I'm not a street kid.